Okay, YouTube, I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video and let you know how I made out. Actually using a, what do you call it, the two-part epoxy made by Gorilla Glue on this here. It's nice and clear and very, very strong. So I took a headlight and matched it up to make sure I got that notch right there. It's just a slight bit off, like it's supposed to be. I had to bore out the hole right there. You got to make sure that hole diameter is the same diameter as this piece right here that sticks up, this little bump piece right here. You see my finger on. Okay, so this way it fits in there proper. Okay, so basically when you're looking at it, all the tabs should be seating down there nice and flat. Nothing should be raised. So I did have to bore out the hole just a little bit, and then the ring right here will fit right on there, and I'll be able to lock it in. And then after that's done, I kept the rubber piece from the old headlight on the motorcycle end, so I could throw that onto it and give it that watertight seal. Then the step after that to complete this, I mean, this thing looks pretty good. I'm gonna pause it for a second. I'm gonna snap that ring on there and then to continue. Okay, so I got the ring snapped on there nice and tight, so the headlight's part of it is fixed. And this is what the front of it looked like. So you can't even tell. I mean, it's how it looks. Looks good in there. See, I don't know if you can see it or not. And that is going to be one bright little moped, I'll tell you that. So I thought it came out pretty decent, so I figured I'd share my outcome with you. The ring is snapped on there nice and tight. Your alignment marks are nice and made. A couple preparations I did is the backs of these are here metal. Okay, so they're really easy to do. They're metal, so I used sandpaper, doesn't matter what grid. I cleaned up around where I was going to epoxy on both ends, both on the front side there and the back side on this piece right here. Then I used some rubbing alcohol and just, what do you call it there, cleaned up, made sure I got all the residue, made sure it was nice and clean so the epoxy would have something to adhere to. And I kept the original piece I cut out, so I get to make sure I got the right pattern. You can see how they're really close. And then what I did was I took a connector from a where is it here? Sorry, I'm just working on this whole space here. This is the connector right here that's going to plug onto the back of the headlight, like that. Match up the colors. These are shrink wrap. I like to use shrink wrap. These are going to go here. Sorry, yeah, white goes with that. That's going to go with the ground, the black, and then the blue with the blue for the high beam. So that's pretty much how it's going to go. And I don't use butt connectors. I always solder. So make sure you use a nice soldering iron, get it nice and tight, give them a pull test. Then you slide the heat shrink over your solder joints and heat shrink them as if it was one wire. And I try to keep them the way I cut them, so they're basically about the same length in wires, because you don't want to have too much. It makes it a real pain in the neck to tuck it all into the headlight. So that's pretty much my follow-up video. So that's what the back of it's going to look like right there on that headlight that you can no longer purchase anymore. And you can do this with any moped headlight or even motorcycle. If you have an old motorcycle like a CB350 or a 360 Honda, you can do the same modification to that as well, because like I said, some of these headlights you just can't get anymore, and it'd be pretty cool to be able to upgrade them to a replaceable bulb and keep the factory look. I mean, those did look sexy coming down the road, so having that and having a newer bulb, you get kind of the benefits of a brighter headlight but a classic look. So, and the modification didn't take long. This is my second one, and it got a little faster. It takes about an hour and a half to do. And I mean, just measure twice, cut once. Okay. Thank you. Please subscribe.